What's going on YouTube? Unc0ver here. So in today's video I have great news for those of you having an A12 device and waiting for the Unc0ver jailbreak. By the way, the A12 devices are the iPhone XS, XS Max and XR, and a few of the iPads with the A12 chip. Pound posted another version of the Unc0ver with more support for the A12 and A12X devices. He said, quote, Unc0ver version 3.5.6 is now out and adds support for remounting and restoring the rootfs on A12 and A12X devices running 12.3 to 12.4. Now, just a few days ago, he posted a version 3.5.4, which contained initial support for A12 and A12X devices on the same versions, but it only had SSH and a root shell. Now we also got a remount for the root file system, and you're probably going to ask me what is a remount and what it does. Well, normally the files on your system are divided in two different categories, in two different partitions, the user partition and the system partition. The user partition contains most of your user data, like your applications that you install from the App Store and configuration files and anything related to the user, databases with calls, with messages and so on. That is your user partition, and you have to have write privileges to that because most of your applications will try to write somewhere in there to their bundles or to read from their bundles and so on. But the system partition, which contains everything from your applications that come pre-installed with iOS to the iOS configuration files and so on, that is unfortunately read-only. You cannot do any sort of modifications, which are basically required if you want to jailbreak your device. If you want to install Cydia, for example, you need to have permissions to write to that partition. There are workarounds and they have been outlined in the Rootless Jailbreak by Jake James, but those are not perfect, and for a normal working jailbreak you would definitely need a rootfs remount. And the rootfs restoring is basically a feature of Unc0ver which allows you to basically clear out any evidence of the jailbreak having ever run. So this is basically a jailbreak wipe function. If you no longer need a jailbreak or you want to clear out anything and jailbreak from scratch, you press the restore and it will basically restore a snapshot and delete anything including your tweaks and so on, which is actually a very neat feature. So for the moment, for the A12 people, the iPhone XS, XS Max and XR, the version 3.5.6 not only has SSH and a root shell, it also adds support for remounting the rootfs. But wait, there's more. For those of you who are interested in tweaks, there's also good news from Pound. He said, quote, I have mostly figured out a logic for a reasonable way to get code injection working on A12 and A12X without a PAC bypass. I will soon try to see what I can do with this implementation. And then of course he posted, quote, for what it's worth, I have already achieved code injection into user space apps on A12 without a PAC bypass. PAC basically meaning pointer authentication codes, and it's a security feature of the A12 devices. Code injection into system processes require more work, and that's what I'm working on as of right now. And then of course he posted this, quote, I have just updated my upcoming substitute support tooling to work without PAC bypass. I now need to update the unrestrict library to work without a PAC bypass and make the code injection work with system processes on iOS 12.1.3 to 12.4 with A12 and A12X devices. So basically he's very close to achieving tweaks running on the A12 devices without a PAC bypass. And by the way, the remount he has done in here is done without a PAC bypass, which is actually marvelous because this is actually a very big security feature of this line of devices, the A12 devices, so you need a bypass for it. We did have a bypass for 12.1.2 and lower from Brendan Azad, and there is also one for iOS 12.1.3 to iOS 12.2-ish, but it has to be implemented, and of course that's kinda hard. But for 12.4 there's absolutely no PAC bypass for now. So Pound's method is to basically ditch the whole PAC bypass altogether and try to work around the idea of having one, which apparently works out for him very well because he makes huge progress for the A12 devices. So yeah, if you want to get the latest Unc0ver, the version 3.5.6 contains support for the A12 devices with rootfs remount and restore, SSH and of course a root shell. I will keep you updated as more updates come. Thank you for watching. I am Unc0ver. Until next time, peace out.